The election of 1860 caused a major uprising to form between the North and the South. The two candidates, Abraham Lincoln and Stephen Douglas, one from the Republican and the other from the Democratic, were major figures in causing the Civil War.
The United States was already at a heightened state of sectionalism. South Carolina seceded from the Union in 1860 in response to the United States election of Abraham Lincoln. As time went on, one by one, the original 7 states succeeded to form the Confederate States of America. Eventually, 4 more joined their cause.
The United States divided into 2 separate unions, the Union and the Confederacy.
Before he was president, Abraham Lincoln said these famous words,
"A house divided cannot stand,"
which emphasized how maintaining the Union was vital to the survival of our nation. This intelligent and motivational man was the president of our nation during the Civil War.
On the other side of the country, Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederacy. He had a very shy, sly, and aloof personality, causing him to not be as good of a leader as Lincoln. These two individuals were major figures in this time period.
Election of 1860. Sectionalism between the countries. Slavery, states' rights, and tariffs were major causes of the Civil War.
Everyone knew it was inevitable, and as expected, civil war broke out between the two sections at Fort Sumter in Charleston, South Carolina, where the first shots were fired.
Even though there were no people killed, except a horse. This was the beginning of a 4-year-long gruesome and bloody war.
There were many important figures that sacrificed their life and fought with bravery and dedication.
The first major battle of the Civil War was Bull Run, also known as Manassas.
This battle shocked the North because the Union was overconfident and was certain they would win. But when they found out it was a Confederate victory, everyone's hope of short war was destroyed. Lincoln and the Union were shocked.
The next battle of the Civil War was the Battle of Shiloh. It was from April 6 to 7, 1862. It was the bloodiest 1 to 2 day battle in American history. Sidney Johnston, a Confederate general, died in this battle. He was a key stronghold in the Southwest. His death led the Union advance into Tennessee and the Western Territory.
The Battle of Antietam was fought on September 17, 1862. It was the bloodiest single-day battle in Civil War American history. This battle gave Abraham Lincoln the opportunity to deliver the Emancipation Proclamation, which freed all slaves in states of rebellion and discouraged the British and French governments from potential plans for recognition of the Confederacy. It also ended Robert E. Lee's campaign into the Union States.
The Battle of Vicksburg was a major turning point in the Civil War. Vicksburg was surrendered July 4th, 1863, after a month and a half of siege. The reason it was a major turning point was because the Union gained control of the Mississippi River, and the battle also split the Confederacy in half.
Ready? March! Hut! 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 Hut!
The Battle of Gettysburg was fought from July 1st through 3rd, 1863. It was the battle with the largest number of casualties in the American Civil War and is often described as a turning point. On the second day of battle, most of both armies had assembled. The main event on July 3rd, 1863 was Pickett's Charge. Over 50,000 soldiers from both armies were casualties in the three-day battle. That November, President Lincoln honored the fallen Union soldiers in his Gettysburg Address.
77 years ago, our fathers brought forth on this continent a new nation, conceived in liberty and dedicated to the proposition that all men are created equal. And that government of the people, by the people, for the people, shall not perish from the earth.
On April 9th, 1865, Lee surrendered.
I've had enough. I surrender, Grant.
The signing of the surrender document thus ended the Civil War between the states.
Abraham Lincoln died on April 15, 1865. The time period after the Civil War and his death was known as the Reconstruction.
The Reconstruction period lasted from 1865 to 1877. It ended when Rutherford B. Hayes withdrew Union troops from the southern states. Also in this time period, there was a lot of racial segregation and inequality.
The 13th Amendment of the Constitution freed all former slaves. The 14th Amendment of the Constitution guaranteed citizenship rights to all former slaves. And the 15th Amendment gave voting rights to all African American men.
The Civil War and Reconstruction period was a tremendous time in American history. Much blood was shed, and families were torn apart to secure the country of liberty and freedom. Though Reconstruction was a valiant effort, it could not solve the problems of inequality and would be left to the future generations. Nevertheless, the Civil War and Reconstruction have certainly made their mark in history as one of the most important pieces of what has made America.